Hello again. I'm here with another one of our picture books for our 14 days before winter break. Maybe if you don't get to read these all or listen to them all before winter break, you'll have some stories to listen to during your winter break. I hope you keep reading and listening to books or reading books during winter break. It's so good for you. So I've been trying to share a lot of new books with you. This is another new book that I'm excited about called The Nutcracker in Harlem. So maybe some background. Some of you may have seen the Nutcracker, which is a really famous holiday ballet that is beautiful to watch if you've never seen it. I know you can actually stream it right now on TV since we can't go see it live this year. But this one is called The Nutcracker in Harlem. Now, Harlem is a place in New York City. And so I have a feeling that this is going to be very special to that part of this girl's, I'm going to guess, neighborhood. We've had a few books this time from New York City. Maybe I'm dreaming of a trip because I keep picking these books. One was A Miracle on 133rd Street, and the other one of Oscar's 8 Blessings all took place in New York. So we may see some similarities there. If you've never been to New York City, someday I hope you get to go. It is a very cool experience, a very different experience than being here in Colorado. But this is a story called The Nutcracker in Harlem. It is written by T.E. McMorrow and illustrated by James Ransom. It was snowing in Harlem on Christmas Eve. The party at Marie's house swirled with colors gold and red and green. Mama and Poppy were dancing, Miss Addie sang, and Uncle Cab played the piano. Marie loved the sound of Christmas. Oh, look at that party. We can't have a party like that this year, but maybe next year. Join in, Marie, Uncle Cab called out. Marie looked down. She wished she could sing, but Marie was afraid she wasn't any good. Certainly not like Miss Addie or Uncle Cab. The song ended. It was time for gifts. Every year, Uncle Cab would give Marie a doll and Freddie some toy soldiers. They were carved from a magical wood, Uncle Cab always said. He handed Freddie his gift. And now for my Marie, said Uncle Cab. Oh, that's cool that he makes their gifts each year. I'm gonna kind of guess he's gonna give her a nutcracker. What do you think? A nutcracker, said Marie. A drummer boy nutcracker. Dum-diddy-dum-dum-dum, played the nutcracker on his drum. Uncle Cab sang a tune to the beat of the little drummer. The room again filled with song. Everyone in the house was singing or dancing. Everyone except Marie. Look, it's such a neat nutcracker. Why wouldn't she sing and dance, do you think? She kind of looks sad while everyone else looks joyful. Miss Addie knelt next to Marie. Will you sing with me, Marie? She asked. Marie shook her head. Maybe next time, Miss Addie said. Music lives inside everyone. You just have to let it out. Oh, that might be my favorite line from a book so far. Because you guys know I love music. I love to sing, even though I'm not very good, but it does live inside all of us. After dinner, Marie took the nutcracker and a slice of sweet potato pie and sat by the Christmas tree. The lights were soft and twinkling. She lay down, closed her eyes, and fell asleep. Now, my background knowledge from seeing the ballet, The Nutcracker, is that when the girl in the story falls asleep, she has an amazing dream. So I wonder if that's going to happen in this story too. Marie opened her eyes. The house had gone silent. Outside, it had stopped snowing. A full moon glowed in the sky, and the living room was filled with a ghostly white light. A rustling sound came from the top of the tree, where Mama had hung her favorite ornaments, the glass birds. I just read the book about the cranes that the mother makes or puts on the tree for her child in Japan. And now this book has birds on the tree too. That's an interesting connection. I've never put a bird on my tree. It was almost as if the blue glass bird was moving. It was. The bird fluttered its wings and began to sing. Then the gold bird joined in, and the red one, and the green one too. Do you think she's dreaming? I think she's dreaming. As the birds sang, the Christmas tree began to grow. It grew bigger and bigger until it towered over Marie. The ornaments, the presents, the dolls, and the soldiers grew too. Dum-diddy-dum-dum, the Nutcracker played his drum. The toy soldiers and dolls danced around the tree, as the birds sang on. Ooh, everything's coming to life. Crash! The music stopped. Candy canes! A voice squeaked. Marie turned. A mouse army, all in uniform, was marching toward the tree. A mouse general was leading them, his chest covered with shiny medals. Candy canes! He repeated. Marzipan and chocolate. Charge! This was surprising to me. An army of mice. The Nutcracker began to drum. Dum-diddy-dum. The toy soldiers lined up behind him. They marched toward the mouse army. One mouse turned and ran away. Then the entire army followed, all except the general. Ooh, look, it's a battle. I want sweet potato pie, the general shouted. That's not what I thought the general was gonna want. He ran, jumped, and knocked the Nutcracker down. The drum fell to the ground. When the drumming stopped, so did the toy soldiers. The mouse army advanced again. Charge! The mouse general commanded. What could Marie do? Maybe she'll save the sweet potato pie. She picked up the drum and put the strap over her neck. Dum-diddy-dum. The mouse army stopped, turned, and ran away. The general glared, but Marie kept drumming until he too fled. As the mice ran, they began to shrink, getting smaller and smaller. The toy soldiers chased the mice through a hole in the wall and into the snow outside. Oh, Marie, she led the Nutcracker soldiers. And can you see the mice are now like real mice instead of a mouse army, away from the food. The glass birds sang as the soldiers returned. Marie joined the Nutcracker in a dance. They swirled around and around. They seemed to be on a cloud. It started to snow, but it wasn't cold. Marie closed her eyes and began to sing. She's singing. Marie? She opened her eyes. It was morning. Did I miss Christmas? Marie asked. Of course not, darling, Mama said. She was dreaming. Under the tree were Marie's dolls, the Nutcracker and something else, a drum. She picked up the drumsticks. Dum-diddy-dum-dum. Very good, said Uncle Cab. He began to sing a Christmas song. Mama and Poppy and Miss Addie all joined in. And so did Marie. She finally had the confidence to sing with everybody because she had saved the sweet potato pie. And that is the end of the Nutcracker in Harlem. I'm going to read this author's note just because I am curious about how T.E. McMorrow saw this story. It says, years ago, I was hired as a stagehand for the Dance Theater of Harlem, a ballet company and dance school based in the Sugar Hill neighborhood of Harlem in New York City. I watched the performers rehearse long hours, exploring the happy and sad moments of life through music and dance. Those memories have stayed with me to this day. When my wife suggested I write a retelling of her favorite Christmas story, The Nutcracker and the Mouse King by E.T.A. Hoffman, it seemed natural for me to set my retelling in Sugar Hill. After all, Hoffman's classic is best known as told through Tchaikovsky's famous ballet, The Nutcracker. I wanted my version of the story to be set in the place where I had seen the power of music and dance transform people, performers, and audiences alike. As I researched Sugar Hill, I focused on a famous period near the beginning of the 20th century when Harlem attracted a growing number of artists and intellectuals. In the 1920s, when our story is set, the thriving local culture became known as the Harlem Renaissance. The music of that period in particular had a major impact on American culture. Jazz was a combination of African rhythm and European harmony. It allowed musicians to find the story within the music, to express themselves freely in ways that hadn't been possible before. 2 of the fictional characters in this book are named after musicians based in Harlem in that era. Miss Addie is a nod to Adelaide Hall, a vocalist with Duke Ellington's band. Uncle Cab is a tribute to Cab Calloway, a singer and bandleader. Both Hall and Calloway had unique vocal styles and were extremely influential on the way jazz and popular music evolved in America. Just as the memory of the Nutcracker remained with Marie, so too did the memory of the Harlem Renaissance remain in the American soul. That is so cool. I love that. I love hearing how authors get their ideas for stories, and think about, he just took a story that he knew, put it in a place that he loved with experiences of his own background, people that he knew were important to to our history, to the American history, and kind of created a new version of a story. I bet you could do that too with any story that you find and kind of make it your own. Maybe you could try that this week. Have a great day.